Welcome to the Soul Tribe Podcast. The Soul Tribe Podcast was created to help you navigate through the world of spirituality, wellness, and self-development in an easy, grounded, and relatable way. We break down everything from the Akashic Records, manifesting, spirituality, and so much more. We want to help expand your boundaries and bring the spiritual world to you in a fun and easy way. Get ready to be inspired with tips, tools, and easy to digest information. Let's do this.
Hey everybody! Today, Lorraine and I are doing a very different and somewhat special episode. And we're separating to record from each on our own side. So it's going to be very different for us, at least. And the idea is that we have our Akashic Records open and that we're giving our channel and our space to receive whatever the masters and guides would like to talk about or would like to communicate or would like people to hear. But I wanted to start off, before I started channeling from them, I want to start off to tell you guys about this really amazing dream I had. And I'm going to try to make it short to not bore you guys. And for those that don't know my history or my past premonition issues, I did have 3 years of having these really crazy, vivid dreams. I would wake up exhausted, and I would know they weren't dreams. I would wake up knowing that was not a dream. That was an experience, right? At the time, it was my awakening. It was my wake up call, and I was seeing accidents. Aviation accidents, and then I would see on the news about 2 weeks to a month later. And that went on for 3 years until I became an Akashic Records reader. But if you guys want to know more about that story, you can go to the first episodes where there's Lorena's journey and my journey, if you're interested in more details. But so I just wanted to remind you guys of that and tell people that didn't know before I get into my dream. I no longer have dream premonitions. And that's why I got to get to Akashic Records to get rid of them, because I didn't want them anymore. But this was one of those dreams that reminded me a lot of that. And I, of course, went to the Akashic Records after to ask about it. So I will also share with you what the Akashic Records said about the dream. The dream was, we were supposedly having an outdoor event, which felt like a barbecue. There was a lot of not seeing but knowing in the dream. So I never saw the food or a barbecue area, but I knew I was in some sort of a dinner barbecue. There was also a lot of tables, to the point where it was separated by walls, some tables. But I knew who was on the other side of the wall sitting at the table. And it wasn't a sort of separation, the walls. It was people that lived on other countries or in other countries. And so, for example, I recognized some people that lived in Canada that I knew, and they were on the other side of the wall. I knew they were there. I could hear their voices. I could feel their presence, but I didn't see them. So it was like everybody I knew was in this outdoor area, just everybody in their own section. We all knew between each other who was there. So whoever you knew was there. So it began very odd already. And I do remember Lorena was sitting on my left side. She was the person that I was communicating directly with. For some reason, I wasn't speaking to everybody else. But I knew they were there. It was all good, basically. And someone got on the speaker, someone that I knew got on the speaker and started talking and announcing, about the event and how great it was that we got to get together and, spend time together. And it was going to be a really amazing evening. And I remember recognizing her voice and going, oh, wow, I know who that is. Okay, great. And I was like, oh, that's right. She's over there. And I recognized her essence and her being there, which I hadn't seen her in years. So it was just one more person that I couldn't see, but I knew and I had some sort of connection with. At the same time, Lorena and I were paying a lot of attention to the weather, because when this girl that I knew announced over the microphone that they were the weather app, she was saying that the weather app was giving perfect weather, so we were supposed to have a good time. Yet at the same time, Lorena and I, even before she said that, we're looking out, and we saw the clouds were super heavy, and it looked like, wow, something's coming. And I remember looking at Lorena going, the app, it does say that it's not going to rain and like the weather's perfect. How come the app's not picking up on these crazy storm clouds? And Lorena and I were both very confused about it. But the amazing thing about the clouds were they turned into this really, really heavy, thick storm cloud, but pink. Instead of like dark gray, it was like grayish with pink, like a lot more pink than gray. And so we were paying attention to that, and I started feeling like something's about to go down. And I was like, Lorena, like something's up. And Lorena's like, yeah, I think the storm is coming. I'm like, no. Like something else is up. Something's going to happen this afternoon. We're all here for a reason. Something's coming. And Lorena's like, you think? And she's like, yeah, I think something with the clouds. And Lorena just kept on associating it with a storm. And I'm like, no, man, there's something else. Like I knew it. And like it had this big gut feeling building, and I was almost getting anxious because I wanted to know what it was. It felt really important. It felt really big. And then while the girl was on the microphone, continued to say things, all of a sudden it started like coming in and out. It's like it would go kind of like that, microphone noise when something cuts out or intervenes in the connection. And everyone's like, oh no, the microphone, what's going on? And then thunder, like super trembling ground thunder. But it wasn't scary. It was like, whoa, like what is this? And I was like feeling the vibration of the thunder, and I was looking at the clouds, and I start seeing the clouds open in the center, like opening in a circle, right? Like opening up. And I'm going, whoa, what is this? And I was getting like excited and anxious, and I was like, what is this? And I remember grabbing onto Lorena's right arm, and I was like squeezing it. I was like, oh my God, Lorena, oh my God. And then some figure, like huge, massive size figure, starts showing itself. And right away I was like, it's God. Oh my God, it's God. And I was going to Lorena, oh my God, it's God. But it was like overwhelming. Like I couldn't deal with it. And also I remember thinking, even in the dream, I remember thinking, why am I seeing God? Like, I'm this person that's very spiritual and very connected, and I believe in like the universe and energy, and I do believe in source. But that image of God that came up in my dream, with like typical image that like, a church gives you, I never really wanted to follow that image because I thought it was just this image that it was implemented on us. And I think that source is something more complex than just a guy. Like Source definitely to me doesn't look like a guy with long hair, right? So I was a little bit confused about that in the beginning, but then I thought about it and I thought, well, they're just trying to make sure that I associated it with Source. That's pretty much my conclusion to that. The reason why it showed up as God, they wanted to make sure that I didn't confuse it with something else. And so it started, at first it was coming down. So it was like the head started forming. So you started like making clues like, what? And then the whole body formed, everything formed. And I remember, I don't know why, but I paid attention. I was like, whoa, he's wearing a lot of light blue. What's up with the light blue? Like, I remember and I still think that, like, why was I even obsessed with that in the dream? It's weird. But I was like, dude, what's up with the light blue, man? Over wearing light blue. And I was still grabbing onto Lorena the whole time. Like, the whole event that this was going on, I was grabbing onto Lorena's arm. Lorena's a person like that when something goes on in life, she just stays still. It's like she doesn't react. And so I think Lorena was just staying still, and in my dream she was just reacting the way I know her to react. And in the dream I reacted the way I know to react, like overreacting, like, oh my God, and like grabbing on and squeezing and like shaking her. And so I basically saw after that, like after the whole body appeared, I basically looked up above the head, and the clouds had opened up, so there's no clouds anymore there, but around the body, around the head, and these words came out like almost like a rainbow arc kind of way. It came out and it said, to me, it showed up in Spanish, but it was this really weird feeling where everybody was reading it, like, and everybody was there I had people that I knew that only speak English in that area that I sensed that they knew they were there, but everyone was reading it in their own language. So it was showing up in whatever language you wanted to, or your best to receive it. And it was, you're not alone. It would be in English. And I was like, wow, the message is that we're not alone. And I was like, that's actually a really nice message. And I was like, wow. and then it disappeared. It just, but it disappeared so fast, but it wasn't too fast that you were like shocked. It was just like weird. It was just fast, but it was just like you accepted it the way it just disappeared. And then the clouds totally dissipated, and there was not one cloud in the sky, and the app was right at that point that there was no storm. And then I woke up. Oh, I forgot a really important part, actually. After I read that message, when the image finished appearing, this feeling of complete peace and love, like I had never in my life experienced it and couldn't imagine it to exist, to the point where I can't even explain to you guys the feeling. And I've heard this so many times because I read a lot of books of like NDE, near-death experiences, and people that, went to the other side and come back saying like the feeling, well, that was it, I'm guessing, what I was feeling. It was amazing. And I was like, oh my God. And it wasn't the love. For me, it was the peace. I was like, oh, the peace. Oh, this peace is amazing. And I think the reason why I vibrated with that peace was because, 2020 has been crazy. Like for all of us, for everybody. It's been a transformative, good year in a sense for me, because I've been able to get a lot of personal goals and I feel like I'm on my path. So it hasn't been bad for me, but I don't enjoy seeing things happening in the world, and I don't enjoy seeing all the things that need to be fixed, and all the darkness and evil that need to kind of finally, there needs to be justice at some point. And so it was nice to feel that peace. I was like, oh, the peace. Oh, just never leave. Just stay with me forever. And so when I woke up, I was like, that was the exact feeling and the exact thoughts I had when I had my 3 years of dream premonition 12 years ago. And I said to myself, that wasn't a dream. That was an experience. And that's the feelings have faded. Like right after when I woke up, I was like, whoa, for like maybe 25, 30 minutes. And then it started fading. So this was a few days ago. So I'm like, oh, I can remember every detail, but I can't find that feeling again that I had when I woke up, which is a little disappointing. It would be nice to tap into that. So maybe I can tap into that some other way, meditating or something. But I asked Akashic Records, like, okay, fine, this doesn't feel like a dream. It felt like an experience in itself. Is there a message behind this? Is everyone going to have this experience? Is this something that, because if the message is you're not alone, then everybody should be getting it and not just me. And also everybody was getting it in that event. It was everybody that I knew and more that was there. And what they were saying to me was those that are awake or those that are in the process of waking up, they will be able to have their own sort of experience. We're not all going to get the experience of connecting to source and knowing that you're not alone. We're not all going to get it at the same time in the same way, because they're going to adapt it to the way you best receive information, to the way it's going to most impact you, and it's going to associate with what you believe in also, right? So it's going to be different for everybody. For me, of course, they've always used dreams to communicate and give me experiences. So it does make sense that it came in a dream. And what they were really saying was, sorry, that was my email, guys. What they were really saying was that they wanted for all of us to feel and know that we're not alone, because this is a transformative year for all individuals. And what the master is saying to me right now is that they talked about it various times, that there's this karmic movement, there's this karmic cleansing, there's going down deep and taking out karma of ourselves, of collectives, of humanity in itself. And that's heavy work, but that's important work to accelerate ourselves and to further connect. There was no way we could advance more spiritually without this happening and going forth. And so those that are on this process, and if you're listening to this podcast, you probably are either awake or in the process of waking up, but you're open to it. So you probably will get your own experience in time. It feels like a lot of those people are going to get it this year, because it's important for a lot of us to know this year that we're connected and there's something more. And the other really important thing that the masters were talking to me about when I asked immediately after the dream was, this year's not over, and it's going to get heavier, guys. Like there's much more to come up, much more to cleanse. and much more to confront. And so the way I felt it was like the next 3 months felt like it was going to be very heavy, very dense. And for some people, it's going to be a little bit lighter, but in general, the worldwide, everybody's going to be seeing things, everybody's going to be hearing things, everybody's going to be feeling things. We're all connected to the collective humanity, or the human collective, and so we're all affected. All of our energies are affected because we're all intertwined. We're all connected. So the next 3 months feels the way they make me feel it feels very heavy, feels very dense. It feels complex and complicated. But it feels like a clearing. It feels like an opening. It feels like a step. So I'm glad that it's going to happen. I know that it's going to be hard. And that's why I got that dream message experience, so that I knew that it's on purpose. It's happening for a reason. And I want to just remind anybody who may have missed the episode we did in November where Lorena and I channeled what to expect for 2020. So it was an episode November 2019. It was channeled messages from the masters and the guides and the Kasha. And they had said that there was going to be chaos before a new order. And so this is the chaos that they were talking about 2020. And the chaos isn't that, evil is taking over or darkness is winning or, any of those things. What it really is the chaos is for things to be cleared out and for things to get better and for light to start overtaking. Light needs to hit the dark. And so darkness needs to be revealed so it can open up and just, I'm going to say it in an easy way, dissipate. It's much more complex than that, the way they're showing it to me. And I don't know how to explain it because I really don't understand exactly what I'm seeing. But it looks like light's hitting something, and the first step to after light hits something, it has to be uncovered. It has to be revealed. It has to be given attention, and then light can do its work on it in a way, if you want to think about it like that. So we're literally in the middle of it, like the eye of the storm, like the center of the whole thing. Like this is like a semi-calm before the rest of it comes, the rest of it hits, more things come. And they're not giving me details of what it is, but it feels like more than one thing. It feels like revelations. It feels like information. It feels like, I keep getting the word authority. So I don't know if it's like, it has to do with authority, which I don't know actually what they mean by authority. It's like those that are above normal man, like me and Lorena, there's authority that are kind of above us all. There's a lot of, it's crazy, guys. There's a lot of complex things that they're showing me. So it's so hard. And I want to do it justice, what I'm getting and what I'm seeing. But it's like, there's not just one thing that's dark in this world. Or there's not just one thing that has control, if you want to say it that way. There's a lot of different kind of energies and entities that took control of light. And I'm not saying it from like an abusive place only. I'm saying it like there's a lot of human aspects to it where like an individual might gain control and not want to release that control. And then it feels good to be in control and then you just want more. It's almost like it feels like an addictive energy in that sense. So there's more than one individual in this world that has that. Related to authority. But at the same time, I get a lot of like non-earthy energy that's intervening with us. So non-earthy energy that's intervening with us via light to help us kind of start releasing the control they have over these authority energies have over all us as a human collective. So the human collective is being controlled. The human collective is being manipulated, and the human collective is being used. Those are the things that the masters are telling me. So what needs to happen is we all need to start looking at and they talked about this before, we need to look at the world the way it really is. We need to start seeing the world where it really is. Not the way we've been told it is, not the way we've been taught the way it is. And so they said this before, question anything that you see and hear and try to dig down and see what other information you can get about that issue, person, situation, whatever it is that you're looking into. But the important thing here is to question things and not take them as true right away. That's what the masters are saying. That's going to lead a lot of awakened people, light workers, and beings of light. That's going to allow us all to start breaking through this controlled manipulation that the human collective is under. And there's so many aspects of the controlled manipulation. There's not just one thing. It's from emotions to, they've talked about this before in a channeled message I did, and I put up on YouTube, on the Soul Tribe Podcast YouTube channel. It's this thing of like our 9-to-5 jobs. It's also a manipulation in its own way, because that's not really the soul having only a human experience. That's the soul having they have to. It's obligated to do this one thing to survive, whereas there could be a better way for humans to interact with each other and help each other out instead of all of us having to go to work. And sometimes it's hard to see past it because we're so used to saying, oh, I really want to do this. Oh, no, but like I need a job. I need to make money. And a lot of us are stuck with that. A lot of light workers have been going to like these jobs that don't resonate with them or doesn't vibe with them anymore. And that's not right. You should be able to do what you intuitively feel is right for you. You should be able to make the decision for yourself, and money and an hourly wage should not be controlling the decision that you really want to make for yourself and your life and your life experience, because this is the experience your soul is having, right? So I hope that like goes down somewhere, like vibrates with you guys in some sort of way. I hope that it calls out to you in some sort of way. I hope that this is some sort of awakening or a confirmation for you that you're right, or things are going to get better, or, this isn't just all awful and evil. This is light doing its work. So, and a lot of our listeners, because we have contact with them either because we've read their Akashic Records, or they've emailed us, or, social media. A lot of those individuals that we've spoken to and we speak to that listen to the podcast are light workers. They might not be fully trained yet, some of them, or they might be in the process of deciding to, but their contract is light workers. Lorena and I do a lot of light worker readings, and everybody has a different way. Their soul has a different way of helping and functioning. So if you're listening to this, there's a reason why, and know that you're part of that light that's doing a really good job. Even by you listening to this, you're already bringing more energy and awareness to the human collective. So we're helping each other out by accepting this or knowing this, because we're connected to that. I call it the human collective cloud. It's like you're uploading that feeling and that knowing, and you're helping others awaken and hear it also. So I hope my dream experience made you guys feel better, because, oh my God, it made me feel so good. So I wanted to share that with you. And I hope the messages the masters just shared with you guys help you push through the next few months that are coming till we can finally get to the end of 2020. And remember, 2021 is going to be a new beginning is what they always call it. But that's because we're all supposed to be trying to, this year was go in and find out what you really are, who you really are, what you really want to do. It was like going in and figuring out and fixing and rebuilding kind of thing, realigning. And then the next year that was coming, 2021, was if you did the work well in 2021 for you could be the new beginning, where you bring in that new way of being, the new way of seeing, the new way of feeling, a new job, a new project, a new family, a new anything, like a new house. Like it could be so many things, but that's the year to bring in that. This is the year to prepare the field, right? It's almost like you want to grow crops. This is the year where you're going to have to pull out all the weed, move all the dirt, make sure like the soil has the nutrients it needs, and then dig all the holes for all the seed. And you're manually doing this, and it's hard work, and putting in the seeds one by one, and then covering it all up and watering it and constantly checking on it and making sure the insects aren't eating it and keeping it cleaned and cleared, right? And 2021 is the year where you're going to start seeing that grow. You're going to start seeing that come up. It's going to be the new beginning. It's going to be the new process for you. So hopefully that goes for everybody. Hopefully that works for everybody. And if you haven't started going in, now's the time. So you can begin the crop work, the weed, take out all the weeds. That's what we're all doing. All right. I hope everybody enjoys Lorena's message. She recorded it separate from me. I'm interested in hearing what she's channeling with her masters and her set of guide and her soul. Love you guys and stay in faith and stay strong and stay connected and stay aligned and stay spiritual.
We interrupt this podcast episode to bring you some really exciting news. The Soul Tribe Academy has launched an online Akashic Records Level 1 course. This course will teach you to become your own Akashic Records reader, to become a channel so you can receive information, to heal, and to follow your own intuition. We put so much time and effort into this course, and we created these for you guys to help you, our soul tribe, connect to yourselves. And we know each and every one of you have that power to connect to your masters, your guides, your beings of light, and even to your soul. This is something we all have the power to do, and we believe that so strongly that we create these courses for you guys. And this course was also created online because we were finding that a lot of our Zoom courses had a conflict with people's time, days, and they weren't able to join us on our courses, which are a lot more hands-on and a lot more time-consuming. And this course that we created now is on our website, so we'll link that on the show notes. You can check it out there. But you can learn on your own time and at your own pace, and you'll own this course forever. So you're able to watch the videos however many times you want, whenever you want. And also we have a full manual, which we've channeled through our masters, guides, and beings of light. And we've made the course that we wish we had when we were learning. And we didn't have this possibility of learning online. So this is great that you guys have access to this now, and how kind of everything's been pushed online now, and it's amazing. So Lucy and I really hope that if any of you feel called to learn to read your own Akashic Records, that you consider this course. Like I said, I'll have the information on the show notes. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to email us or DM us on our Soul Tribe Podcast Instagram, or you can email us at soultribeacademy@gmail.com. And we hope to see you in the course. And also remember that when you sign up for this course or our Zoom course, you have access to our private Soul Tribe Academy Facebook group, which includes all of the students that have had courses with us, that have learned the Akashic Records, and that are on the same path that you will be. So it's a really supportive group, and it's a way for us to also be able to help you. So if you have any questions after you've done the course, you can reach us that way, and it's super easy, and we're able to give feedback, and even other students can give you feedback. So it's amazing, and we're really excited, and we hope you guys join us there. Thank you. Back to the episode, guys. Hey Soul Tribe, I hope everybody's doing well today. This is a little bit of a different episode. Lucy and I aren't channeling at the same time or recording at the same time, so it's going to be interesting to see how this all kind of ties together and to see what we're channeling. So my idea today is just to channel whatever comes through for the listeners of the Soul Tribe podcast. So whatever comes through is what you, I hope, need to hear, and I hope serves you in some way. So let's get right into it. The first word that's coming through for me is challenges. We are all being put through extreme and extensive in the sense of long and drawn out challenges where we need to really look at ourselves. What they're showing me is this image of each of us looking in the mirror and looking at ourselves, at our true essence, at who we really are at the core. And to be able to look at ourselves for what we are, for our faults, for the mistakes we've made, for the things that we feel even ashamed for, to be able to really look at them and to not look away. They want us to really look at it and to incorporate it into our being and to let it go. So a lot of the issues that we're facing today seems to be linked to, and this is exactly what always comes through for Lucia and her masters, DNA. What are we holding on to that no longer serves us and that's holding us back from living this incarnation fully and completely aligned with who we need to be and what we need to learn? So there's like this resurgence, they're saying, or this upheaval of us needing to look at ourselves because there are so many things that aren't ours. So the moment that we can fully look at ourselves for what we are, what we've done, for who we think we are today, but who we truly need to be, that's when we can let go of what no longer serves us. Because that is the only way, they're saying, that you can fully comprehend what it is that you need to let go of. Because what they're explaining to me is that there's many times when we may think something's ours, or we may feel it to be ours, and we're living it out as if it were ours, but it's not ours. It could be our mother's, it could be our father's, it could be their father, so your great grandparents or your grandparents. It could be a past life even. So I think there's a lot of, even they're saying people are feeling very much called to right now to really look at past life stuff. So maybe you felt called to do that this year, and this is something that you're just like, I don't know, I've never been interested in that. But even now saying that, and this is just me talking right now, a lot more past life things seem to be coming. Or even for me, this year has been really interesting with my readings, where a lot of issues with family and trauma have come up without really maybe the person that's coming to get a reading with me really asking specifically about that, but it will come up because it does affect us, and we're not supposed to hold on to that. So what they want you to take away from this information is you really need to let go of what isn't yours, because it is holding you back. And when I talk holding back, what they mean is emotionally holding us back. And that could be trauma. That could be things that we live out in our day-to-day that seem to be normal, but they're not really normal because it's not something that we're meant to continue doing. So this is a year of cleansing. This is a year of letting go of what doesn't serve us. And we need to take that very seriously, what they're saying. It's not about, okay, let me just look at myself. Let me just try to see what I can do. It's like, no, if you've gotten the information you need to get, and you've gotten, maybe you open your own Akashic Records. Maybe you've gotten a reading with someone and you realize that there's things that you need to clean out, but then you get lazy about it. So they're saying, this is the moment to do it. This is a moment that you're going to be able to do it fully, because this is what this year's about. Especially now, to me, energetically, what they're showing me is the second part of this year. So from July until the end of the year, and even a little bit after 2021 starts, it is a time of cleansing. It is a time of letting go. It is a time of restructuring our lives to be able to make it what we need it to be. And I'm sure a lot of you resonate with that. I even resonate with that message, which is really interesting. But at the same time, they don't want you to go crazy. They don't want you to, get stressed out with everything that's happening. That's not the goal with this message that's coming through. What they want you to do is to take time from each day to be able to dedicate to this cleansing, to this letting go. And that's going to look very different for every single one of you. For what it is for me, what might be, meditating, because I know I resist that. So I need to do that, and connecting to myself more, because I do tend to get very stressed and very caught up in the moment with things, even though I'm able to fully connect with others, but with myself, it's a lot harder, right? And I'm sure anybody that's done the course with us can say the same thing. It's very different when you try to connect to yourself, because we hold ourselves back. We don't trust ourselves. And this is a moment to trust. This is not a moment for us to doubt ourselves or doubt what we're feeling. There's this whole sensation of, what is that thing that's in your brain? Like these ideas that keep popping up in your brain that you're ignoring, you're pushing to the side, and you think, okay, I'll look at that tomorrow. And they're saying, no, don't look at it tomorrow. If that thing keeps coming up, if that idea, if that sensation, if that feeling keeps coming up, it's not for you to ignore. It's for you to look at, and really look at deeply, and question why that's coming up for you. And that could be positive things. It could be things of trauma. It could be things you need to do or things you want to do, like a course or studying or going back to school or moving to another country or another state. It could be anything, really. So what they're saying to you is really look at it. Look at yourself. Look at these messages, this intuition that you're receiving. And don't ignore it, because the more we ignore it, the more we're going to go into next year feeling lost. And the feeling we had at the beginning of 2020 of some sort of, I guess, feeling lost, right? We all did feel a little bit lost with like, whoa, what's happening? Where's this world going? What do I do? How do I manage this? The 2021 feeling is going to be very different. To me, it feels like it's a lot of feeling like empty because we're not fully living our purpose. 2021 is I feel energetically it's still going to be a hard year. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to scare anybody, but that's how it energetically feels. But the years that are hard are great because those are the ones we learn. And I can speak from what I've been experiencing this year. It has been a hard year, and it still is a hard year, and I know it's going to continue to be a hard year, 2020. But at the same time, I'm so grateful for it because it's made me see so many things in myself and situations and things that were no longer serving me, or that I was too scared to move forward with, or that I didn't trust myself with. And now it's like, well, I've been thrust into it. I've had no choice a lot of times, but sometimes that's not going to be your experience. And that's what's coming through for me now. It's not all of you are going to be thrust into these situations. Like, for example, having to move because your partner has to move, or someone making a decision for you, which will serve you in the end. But a lot of this is about you now, in the here and now, realizing what you need and what you need to change and changing it, and not doubting that, because it feels to me like if we resist that, if we resist that feeling that we're getting, those ideas that we're getting, we're going to feel really stuck in a few months. So, what is holding you back? Like what is it that's not allowing you to make that decision or even review what's coming up for you? So if it's like an idea that's coming up of something you need to do, like a business you need to start, let's say, what is it that's holding you back from going forward? Is it fear? Is it the fear of failing, or of not doing the right thing, or picking the wrong thing, or not? I don't know. Some of you might not even have clear what you want to do. Maybe these ideas aren't coming up of exactly where you need to go, but you're getting little messages, like little breadcrumbs, kind of taking you to where you need to go. So don't ignore those. Those are highly, highly intuitive messages that are going to allow you to get to where you need to go. So pay attention. Don't ignore. It's not time to distract ourselves with things around us. It's time to look inward. It's time to sit with ourselves, to look at ourselves, and to really be real with ourselves. I think, and they're using the word stop. They're saying stop bullshitting yourself. And I don't like to curse on the podcast, but I'm just going to say it because that's what they're saying. Stop BSing yourself, right? It's that thing of, what am I lying to myself about, and what is holding me back from that BS, right? It's hard, right? It's going to be hard, but the sooner we can do that, the sooner we can be vulnerable with ourselves, the sooner that we're going to be able to heal and really just feel connected to ourselves and our path. I think a lot of us feel disconnected, or, feel like we're not going in the right direction where we are. We're just not aligned with where we are right now. So like the example they're giving me is someone that's sitting here today saying, oh my God, for example, they're saying, I'm at a job that I hate and I kind of have an idea what I want to do, but I'm not sure. Yet you're getting all these ideas every day of things you need to do, but you're not prioritizing them. You're not doing them. You're not trying them. You're not talking to people about it. there might be networks or communities that you can talk to about your ideas or your visions. And maybe these messages aren't even that profound. They could just be like, go for a walk. And then you experience this sensation of peace during that walk, or something makes you smile, and that changes your whole day and your whole energy. And that's important. Like, these little things that they're mentioning are just as important as those big things of like, what am I here to do? What is my purpose? Like, all of that's important. Doesn't matter what ideas people put in our head, right? It's also that whole idea of like breaking down that construct of what we're supposed to be doing. The word supposed to, like, I'm supposed to be married. I'm supposed to have kids. I'm supposed to be at a job that I make this much money right now. Or I'm supposed to be living here. Or I imagine myself doing all these things right now and I'm not. So I feel like a failure. And it's like, no. They're saying no. That's not the way it works. Everybody's path is so unique and so different that there's no way for you to compare yourself to anybody. That's just complete madness, right? Like, there's no reason that any of us should be doing that ever. We're all unique. And the moment we do that, we're not aligned with our path. We're not aligned with who we are and what we're here to do. So the less we can compare, the better for us and for who we've come here to be and do, and what we've come here to do, like, as human beings, living this experience. So this sensation I'm getting, this feeling I'm getting of just like, it's time. Like, stop procrastinating, stop waiting, stop expecting a miracle to happen when the miracle needs to be you being vulnerable and looking at yourself. And we all have something, and that's very clear. We all have something. We can't expect to be perfect. We're all going through something, and it's that compassion that we can have with ourselves that's going to help us get to the other side. And it's not like when you get to the other side, life's going to be perfect, right? It's never like that. You're still going to go through your struggles, but you're going to be more aligned and be able to get through them in a different way. And that's crucial, I think, especially with the energy that's coming for 2021. It feels to me like we can all benefit from cleansing, because if we don't cleanse and we don't look at ourselves and we don't let go of what we need to let go of, 2021 is going to feel way harder than it should. So let's all pay attention to that. Let's all be conscious of what we need to do. And really, it's just giving ourselves a break, but without stressing ourselves out, without going too crazy with this work that we need to do. It's also enjoying life. And that enjoyment might be going for a walk. It might be, spending time with a loved one. It might be chatting on Zoom with a friend. It might be having your coffee in the morning. Like, those are all moments of joy. We need to look inward to be able to enjoy those little things. And I think that's going to be crucial for us in the next coming months. I think the message is pretty clear. I don't feel like we're supposed to feel alarmed or rushed or anything like that. It feels to me like we just need to take it one step at a time, like in our own stride, in our own pace, and figure out the best way to do that. And sometimes they're saying it's getting the information. What information do you need to have today to be able to move forward and understand what you need to do? Because a lot of times you might feel lost, like, I don't know, I know I don't feel good right now, but I don't know where I have to go or what I need to do. So I think figuring out how you can receive that information, if that's channeling it for yourself, if that's talking to a friend, if that's looking at maybe like journaling out how you're feeling to be able to get to the bottom of things, automatic writing, I don't know. That's going to be so different for everybody, but figuring out what works for you is going to be very important. And just healing everything we can to create more light in this world and to create more, it's like energetic balance, they're saying, within this kind of unbalanced world we're living in right now of uncertainty and people feeling fear and people feeling like, they don't know what's going to happen. And the reality is they're saying we never know what's going to happen. It doesn't matter if it's coronavirus, COVID, or if it's losing a job or having a kid. You don't know what's going to happen. We never know. We're not supposed to know. So let's not take what's happening in the world right now, any of it, as, oh my gosh, it's so uncertain. It's always uncertain. And that's why I can only hang on to and grasp onto this present moment. That's all I have. I can project things into the future. I can manifest. I can do all of that. But from a place of the present moment, that's the only moment we have. So I think as long as we can think in those terms and kind of change that chip in our brain of the fear, the ego, and just realize that we're just living day to day the best way we can, we're going to be okay. And whatever needs to happen is going to happen. But at least if we've cleansed everything we need to cleanse and we've gotten rid of all this programming that's not ours, then we're able to do it in a more aligned way. And it will feel more fluid. It will feel more authentic to us. It will feel like it's on our terms and not on the universe pushing things on us. So I hope this message has helped some of you. I didn't know it was going to come through, so this is quite interesting that this interesting message came through for everybody. I really resonate with everything that's come through, so I hope for some of you this helps in some way. And I hope you enjoyed Lucia's channeled message as well. I haven't listened to it yet, so it's going to be interesting when I edit to see it all come together. And I just want to remind everybody that we have our online Akashic Records Level 1 course. So it's self-paced, it's on your own time, and you learn to read your own Akashic Records with that course. We are going to be offering our Zoom courses as well, just not every month. So look out on our social media and emails. We'll be sending those dates out to everybody once we have them. I believe, I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, but I think it's going to be October. So I don't believe September is going to work for us. So if you're really interested in learning the Akashic Records, sign up for the online course and you have our support. You can join our Facebook group. So it's our private Facebook group. And you can email us. You can ask us questions. Like, we're there to support you through the process. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait till October. As well, we have a contracts course on there, which is really interesting. So if you've already done level 1, the contracts course is really cool. And it's all channeled information about soul contracts. And all of that comes with it through the Akashic Records. So be sure to follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is @soul_tribe_podcast. We're also on Facebook, so follow us there. And yeah, I want to wish you guys a good week. And feel free to reach out to us if there's anybody that has any topics we want to touch on. We'll definitely look into those. We've had a few suggestions and we're looking into some ideas. So feel free to reach out to us on our email. All the information will be on our show notes. So we'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.